Hey everybody, I don't know if I'm on yet or not, so I'm just gonna wait for people to come into the room. Streaming from Streamlabs for the first time, so um, it's a little foreign to me. But I've seen others do it, so they usually take a few minutes before people show up, and they kind of get ready, and it's anyway. If anybody's watching this on replay, um, this is my pregame show for Nashville Predators at the Montreal Canadiens. Well, the date's on the thing. Yeah, so we're doing that. We'll do a pregame show. We'll talk about the game, talk about whatever's going on. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I was just watching the hockey guy. So for anybody watching this on replay, I was just watching the hockey guy, and he was talking about the big event that's going on in the world right now. And he kind of made it seem like we're not allowed to mention the actual name of it. I didn't hear anything about it, but since I saw that and he's not mentioning it, I don't want to get in trouble. So there's no mention of the actual name of it. I'm just going to call it this big event. That's actually going to screw up the San Jose Sharks because where they are, their county isn't allowing, in the month of March, gatherings of over 1,000 people. So they have 3 games in March, home games, and they might have to play them with nobody in the stands, unless they can figure out a different way to do it. So I don't know if you're coming in right now and it's just starting. The video seems to be starting at a weird spot. I'm doing my first stream on Streamlabs, and I don't know how it starts up. So I'm waiting for people to show up. I tested it earlier, and people showed up eventually. I put this out on my community tab, and it was just a few minutes late because of trying to figure out something. So let's hope people will show up. I am not positive. Hello, is anybody out there? So what can I talk about? Well, I'll talk about, again, for people who are I know some people do watch this on playback, so if you are, this is mainly for you because nobody's in the room yet. It shows that I've been live for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, but I do believe there might be some kind of a delay from Streamlabs until it actually gets out onto YouTube, and then people see the notifications and come in because I can't. I would usually post when I'm streaming live directly on YouTube. That's it, not Facebook. Um, I can post it hours early, days early. You can post that you're doing a live stream, which may be a benefit here for why I might want to be using YouTube Direct. Also, they don't monetize these videos, so there's no monetization, and I didn't know that. And so far, nobody in. Nobody. I'm talking to myself and to you, the viewer who's watching this on replay only. 1 viewer in. All right, somebody's in the room. So now I'm talking to not just myself now. So yeah. So listen, I'm doing my first stream on Streamlabs. And that's why it's a little different. So I'm not sure who's in. It doesn't show me who comes into the room unless you actually say something. So, but welcome, whoever it is. And we're doing the pregame show for the Nashville Predators at the Montreal Canadiens. I usually stream directly off of YouTube, and this is the first time not. Hey, Munib, how's it going? So it's Munib that's in here. You're the first. You're the first in my official live stream on a Streamlabs OBS live stream. So it's a little different. It's probably why you didn't see it advertised. And oh, human Bigfoot. Hey, wait a second now. You haven't been, sup, buddy? You haven't been here in a while. I remember that name. That's not a name that you see and you forget. How's it going? Thanks for coming in. So Munib and human Bigfoot are in the room. Yeah, so like I was saying, I'm doing my first live stream with Streamlabs OBS, so it comes out a little differently as far as how it's advertised, I guess you could say. I can't pre-post it. So, yeah. So I'm just waiting for people to come in, and then we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. What do you think the score is going to be for the game, and who do you think scores Montreal's first goal? Not a contest for tonight, but it is on Saturday nights. So you might want to practice that up. Human Bigfoot's got 4-1 Nashville. Yeah, I got 3-2 Nashville, and I got Arturi Lekkinen. Now, I got 3-2 Nashville and Arturi Lekkinen for a reason that you would have to watch my preview to know. I did a very different preview today. It was very short. I kind of did it in poetry form. And to get it all rhymed in, I had to, the way I went, I had to kind of pick 3-2 and something that rhymed with, Arturi Lekkinen fit. So, anyways, you got to watch it to see. It was a little different. I don't know that I'll do that very often because it's challenging. I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do it. Some people like my poetry. I don't think anybody else is out there doing hockey poetry. I think that's for sure. I think I've got the market cornered on hockey poetry on YouTube. What do you guys think? Have you seen anybody else doing hockey poetry? It's showing me there's 3 people in. Whoever else is in, welcome in, buddy. Why don't you let me know who you are and give me a guess for the score of the game tonight. And if you think, unless you think Montreal is going to get shut out, give me a goal scorer for Montreal, first goal scorer. So yeah, Human Bigfoot, you can do that too. Who do you think is going to get the first goal? That one goal for Montreal. Who do you think gets it? For me, I've taken Arturi Lekkinen. So we'll see how that goes. So who else is in the room? We got Munib. We got Human Bigfoot with one of the best YouTube names that I've probably seen. There's a bunch that I like. That's one of the best ones. Jason LaRose is in the room. So Jason's got 3-2 Montreal. He's got Suzuki with the first goal. All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on in. I want to assume, because I had trouble with my sound first time I went on. I fixed it. I'm pretty sure it's still fixed because I can see it's not a needle, but I can see it going when I talk. But my sound is okay, guys, or am I too loud? Let me know if I'm too loud. I doubt I'd be too low. But if it's too loud or like kind of screechy when it's loud, let me know. Okay, Human Bigfoot's got Deneau. That's a good choice, I think, for the goal. Deneau is as good as any, that's for sure. He's on that number 1 line. He doesn't get a ton of goals, but he gets them. And he's gotten a couple of first goals. Definitely. I think 2 or 3 times he's gotten first goal. So Deneau is a good pick. And like I said, I took Lekkinen. Not that Lekkinen's not a good pick. I think he's actually due for a goal. Aaron is in the room with Wolverine as well. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. It's my first Streamlabs OBS live stream. I don't know how to do a lot of stuff. So don't expect a lot of bells and whistles yet. But as I get to learn, I'll do more things. I can play like videos, or I can show you stats or whatever I'm talking about in a window. I don't know how to do it exactly yet. So I'm going to, it'll be down the road. But yeah, the stream, it offers me different things. And I don't know, I might go back and forth and do some here and some directly off of YouTube. Okay. So Aaron's got 6-1 Montreal with Byron scoring first goal. Another good pick. I like Byron. I picked him before his first goal. Wolverine's got 4-3 Habs. And I like your optimism. Carl Alsner for the first goal. That's cool. Thanks, Human Bigfoot, for that. So my sound is good for him. So thank you. Anybody's having trouble with the sound, let me know. I think I can fix it if there's a problem. I can't do a lot. The only thing I really know, this is what I really know. I can change my display. So I know you're seeing probably my whole screen right now. I get that. So once I learn how to use that it's okay you see the screen here, but I want to be able to, like, if we're talking about something, I can kind of go find it, or if I want to talk about something specific, and then I can show you stuff that I'm talking about stats-wise, maybe on Cat Friendly or Elite Prospects, something like that, where I can use the stats and talk. NHL Hockey News. Hey, buddy, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Yeah, don't forget, give me a score for the game and the goal scorer for Montreal. First goal scorer, unless you think it's a shutout. I have it 3-2 for the Preds. Excuse me. And I also have Arturi Lehkonen for my goal scorer. But I have to say Lehkonen mostly because he rhymed with the word I needed to rhyme. And but I think it's a good pick overall because he is kind of due. He's not a huge goal scorer, but I think he's kind of due, so he might get it. As good as any. Aaron, I think these new lines are going to create some new offense. That's why I have Montreal scoring 6. Hey, listen. Oh yeah, did you give me a score already? I'm sorry if I missed it. Yeah, you know what? I do like the new lines. I think Domi is definitely clicking with Byron, and I don't know who else is on the wing, honestly. Yeah, I think Suzuki's line is doing good. I just think they're all clicking. I think it's a good setup. Um, you can't really key in on one line because there's guys on the other 3 lines that can break it open if you key in on one. So it makes it harder for the other team. Who do you line up against who? Because um, it's 3 lines that can score. And it is now 3 lines that can score. Not that they're all going to score, but usually one should score, and have a good game if you have 3 good lines. Wolverine, what are your thoughts on NHL players potentially playing in empty arenas due to the big event that's happening? Okay, this I want to say before we talk about that. I just watched the hockey guy put out his news of the day, which has probably been out for a while, but I just watched it. In it, he talks about this big event, and he won't name it the way you're naming it in the chat, which I can't stop anybody from doing. But apparently, and he said something about how we're not allowed to say it. I didn't hear anything about it as a creator, but maybe YouTube is going to do something if you talk about it in that way, naming it. I'm going to assume. So I'm calling it the big event that's going on around the world. Okay, so now that I don't, how many people are in there? 5. So I'll have to say it over again. But yeah, how? Well, it's not the first time I've said it. Before I knew that I can't say the name of this thing, I said it. I think on a couple of occasions in videos that I think we're gonna maybe see potentially the playoffs be 2 empty arenas. Um, I don't see what else they can do. Jeez, my glasses are dirty there. Sorry guys, for you have to see me without my glasses. I don't know. I don't know how it'll affect it. I think this is just starting out. Look, Italy's pretty much closed their borders. I think China too. You can't really get in and out. This is something serious. Whether it turns out to be as serious as potentially can be or not, this is how it's being handled, and I can't say that I disagree with it. So I think potentially we are going to be seeing, instead of not seeing any sporting events, of course, unless this thing actually affects the players themselves. But for young people and people that are very healthy, I think it'll be no different than the flu, even if they get some. I think potentially we're going to see a very different kind of hockey for the viewer, and I imagine for the players too. It would probably be weird to play an NHL game in an empty arena, but it's potentially going to happen. NHL hockey's got 4-3. Habs lose. Gallagher first goal. Human Bigfoot. Do I think Suzuki should be playing on the first line, knowing that the Habs are not making the playoffs? That's a very interesting question. I don't know. I think not, for this reason, is that he's still a rookie. I think he's doing well where he is. He's on the second line, but I do believe by next season, if it's not at the beginning of the year, at some point he is going to take over that first line center, and you drop Deneau back one. I think Domi might be best if he's going to be a center as a third line center. I know it's kind of listen, if you got 3 lines that are scoring, doesn't matter if you're 1, 2, or 3, as long as and it makes for a better ice time spread. You can even it out a little more, and makes for just you can roll 4 lines all the time, and you're going to do better if you could do that. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out next year. But I think bringing guys along a little bit slow is good, and he's come along pretty fast. Leave him at second line center for now till the end of the season. No need to change up. Unless something happens. If something happens to Deneau, yeah, you definitely move Suzuki up to the first line, but otherwise, no. Should call it, no, apparently Aaron can't call it that either, so I'm not going to call it anything other than the big event that's happened. So the big event, so that's what it's going to be. It's unfortunate, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything officially, but I'm going to play off of what the hockey guy, the way he was talking about it. I'm just going to play off of that for now until I know yes or no I can say it or not. Like, I don't want to have my video, like, okay, I'm doing this on Streamlabs, so it's not monetized anyway. I get it, but I don't want them pulling it for any reason if that's what they'll do, you know? I don't want to do that. Okay, Wolverine, because I'm all over the place today, I'm not sure what you did not know, but I'm reminded of Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon, where Ed McMahon was always like, I did not know that. Okay, sorry. Or Johnny said that. I don't know who said it. Montreal going to be playing in front of nobody in San Jose. It's a possibility. They're talking about playing the game in Montreal instead. That's a possibility. They might find another location to play it, or they might be forced to play it in an empty stadium. So we'll find out. But even if they find a solution, this is going to get worse more than likely. And I think as the playoffs draw near, we're going to see where look, New York State is in, and I think California. They are in emergency health situations statewide. So so look, a lot of people are saying, don't panic, and don't panic about it. Listen, if you take proper, um, what's the word I'm looking for? If you wash your hands a lot, 20 seconds at a time. Remember that. That's key because you didn't get you got to wash your hands better. You do that. They say don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. How hard is that? I mean, that's hard to do. Be careful where you go. Um, don't shake hands anymore. Don't kiss on the cheek anymore. Don't hug people anymore. Just for a little while till we know what's up. And yeah, people should be okay. I wouldn't panic, but things are gonna evolve as they learn more. That's what else can you do? I just wouldn't honestly. I wouldn't trust almost anything coming out of the U.S. or out of the White House in the U.S. The health officials that aren't tied directly to that guy's butthole are kind of telling you the truth. But in general, I think they're screwed over there. But if you're Canadian, and if you're not Canadian, you want to, I don't know about your country, or if you're American, I would check to see what Canada is doing. There's a bunch of countries that are handling it really well, and check to see what they're doing, and that you can see what's going on. I would not trust what the Americans are telling me. Just that's the way it is. And as long as that pumpkin, the great pumpkin there, is in the White House, I don't trust what comes out of the U.S. to be factual or not factual. Okay, is Drouin playing? No, I don't think he's playing tonight. But what I did hear is that he's very close to being ready to play. So I want to say, I guess anytime after tonight, but I doubt it tonight, or they would have announced it. And the hockey guy had it that he was really close to being ready. So I didn't see anything else today about whether he was ready or not. So we'll see. But I wouldn't expect him tonight. Joey, how's it going, buddy? Joey's got 6-2 Montreal with Gallagher as the scorer. Yeah, Aaron, that's why I'm taking precaution. It's not that I think I'm going to get any kind of a fine or anything, but they could pull the video. And there's no need for that. I'm lucky. I'm glad I saw what he said, heard what he said, and I'm just going to go on a hunch. But you're right; they can be pretty strict about it. So if they've put out a ruling that I haven't seen, that they don't want us to name it, then yeah, I'm just not going to name it. That's it for now. Joey's saying again, 6-2 Montreal. Oh, he's giving his Gallagher, Deneau, Armia 2 goals. Domi and Petrie. All right, he's going even that step further. He's giving all the goals. Hey, listen, the more goals you try to get, the harder it is to be correct. I just want to tell you. So I don't mind trying for one, but I don't think I want to do 2 or 3 or 4 or 6. Wolverine says, I meant is that I did not know you weren't supposed to say that according to the hockey guy. Well, listen, I could be wrong about it, but I know he was talking definitely about this, and he wouldn't name it. And he said that we're not supposed to, or not. He actually didn't say that. He said we're not allowed to. So me being somewhat intelligent, every now and then I have some intelligence, and I figured maybe I better not second guess that and follow along until I know any different. And that's basically what I'm doing. So let me see. James Hunter, 4-3 Habs, Jeff Petrie with the goal. That's a good pick there, too. Nordic, hey, Nordic, how's it going, buddy? How's it going? I'm doing great. How are you doing, buddy? I haven't been on Discord in a few days. My life has been a little bit hectic, and I'm going to have another hectic week or two. And I'm going to have a new setup. I'm going to switch over into a much bigger room, still in my apartment. But yeah, so it's going to give me a lot more options to do things in the bigger room that isn't going to be a bedroom at the same time. So I'm going to split the bedroom and studio part up. And so that'll be over the next week or so, because I got a bunch of things going on, and I'm going to do that over that time. So, yeah, and then that'll be it till I move. I'm going to be moving either July or October, more than likely July. Human Bigfoot main event cases 118,000, 4,000 deaths, 65,000 recovered. But where is okay, main event. I like that. But whose stats are those? Are those US stats? Because I don't remember what I heard today, but they're rising fast. And listen, the health officials have been saying that numbers are going to go up. Numbers are going to go up. It doesn't mean people are all dying. It's not the case. It's not the case. So far, me at 57, I have a bit of asthma. I smoke a little bit. I'm probably, if I get it, I'll probably get sick, but I'm not very likely to die from it. If I was 20 years older, it'd be a different story. But in general, anyone over 60, anybody with respiratory problems or underlying conditions, stuff like that. If you're young, if you're healthy, you really don't have much to worry about, because you might get sick, but you're going to get sick and you're going to get better. That's what the stats show. The people who are dying, the average age, the median age, which means the average age, is like 80. So, I'm sort of worried because I'm 57, but I'm not horribly worried, but I'm just being very precautious. So hopefully they don't pull this because we're talking about it, but we aren't naming it. It's just the main event, because we're renaming it from the big event that I called it. I like main event better. No cases of it in Newfoundland yet, though hopefully we won't get any. Well, this is the thing with it, Aaron, is that there's no cases officially yet, but we don't know how many people are actually might have it that don't know yet and aren't tested, and we don't know. And we don't. That's why they jump when they jump. So next week you guys might have a ton of them, but you're right. We don't. We have some here in Montreal. It's scary. Hockey Crabs is in the room. Imagine a three-way deal. Price to Carolina. Carolina gives up a first Suzuki Bean to the Islanders, and give the Islanders give a Habs Barzal. Habs give Carolina Mete, and Islanders a first. Habs extend Barzal to same amount as Price. Well, wait a second now. Okay, okay. So Price gets dealt. The talk is that the talk is that Matt Barzal knows how to speak French because his mother made him learn French because she always wanted him to play for the Montreal Canadiens. Okay, that's one thing I heard today. don't know if this is true. And also heard the rumor that Montreal should, at least, I think there's an article in the Gazette or somewhere that Montreal should offer sheet Barzal to get him out of there, and because he wants to come here and all this talk. So I don't know. Price for Barzal is what you're saying, really, right? Am I right about that? Is price for Barzal and Mete, Price and Mete, and you got to give up first. I don't know. Are you getting enough? What are we getting back? Just Barzal? I can't really. Can I scroll on this? Maybe I can. Oh, easier too. Okay. Deal Price to Carolina. I think Montreal gives up way too much to get Barzal. I mean, you're giving up Price and a first and Mete to get Matt Barzal. I don't know. I think that's too much. If we got back something else with that, like a defenseman of some sort that can be here, like a Nick Leddy for a couple of years, that can, could help out here. Maybe, but I still think it's too much. So no, I don't really like that. Montreal will be better next year and will definitely be destined to go to the playoffs for sure. Well, first of all, nothing's for sure. We didn't think the injuries would happen. And look how these injuries really affected the season. Whether you excuses or not, it still did. And nothing's for sure. But to do nothing at all and say we'll be better next year, also not a good thing. They do need to do a couple of things. They need to fill a backup spot, a defensive spot. They got to get a little better. But yeah, I think this team will be better next year. And as long as they improve their depth, if an injury happens, they should be able to ride it through. But right now, they don't have the depth to say that. One thing that was really exposed this year was the lack of depth that Montreal has. There's no doubt we have a problem there. Human Bigfoot, that's all over the world stats? Okay, that's cool. Wolverine, definitely wash your hands and carry hand sanitizer. Very good, but you might not be able to find any. Or better yet, just stay home. I'm trying to stay home as much as possible. And yeah, but hand sanitizer, very helpful, not foolproof. But while you're out, hand sanitizer, get home, wash your hands right away, and then keep doing that on and off all day or whatever. Joe Gatto, would you offer sheet Pierre-Luc Dubois and possibly add Barry as well by playing around with cap? I heard Price is giving the Habs one more year for a playoff run, so it's now or never. I'd question where you heard that about Price. Not that I'm saying it's not true. I just would like to know where you heard that, because I've not heard that. I don't like the offer sheet. I don't think that's a great idea. I'd rather find a way to get Dubois here other than offer sheeting. Same thing with Barzal. Better off, even if it's a three-way trade like was being proposed for Barzal. It makes more sense than offer sheeting. Offer sheeting just creates problems and creates rivals, and it just creates bad blood. I don't think it's a good idea. I really don't. I don't like the offer sheet. So, I don't know. I'd like to know where you I'd like to know where you heard that about Price giving one more year. See, I would think for Carey Price, when he signed his $10.5 million contract, that he was basically saying he was throwing in with Montreal and taking his chances, because I don't see how he thought, okay, well, 2-3 years, I'll give an ultimatum. Doesn't sound kosher, but I mean, I could be wrong. So I would really love to know the source on that. Should the Habs consider trading Drouin or wait for the next deadline? See, Drouin creates a weird question, because, he was really looking good. Injured, came back. Granted, I mean, he could really have problems with his wrist. Did not look anything like the first 19 games. So you're back to square one. Now he comes back, say, in a couple of games, and maybe he looks really good. But again, there's no pressure. The games don't mean anything. So do you trade him? We're back to the same question as last summer. Do you trade him? He still has that same upside. Nothing's really changed because of the way things happen this year. He's still kind of, his upside is starting to look better because of those first 19 games. So I don't know. I don't know. I say this though, if you really got a deal where you got to give Drouin and you can get that guy on defense that you really need, you make that deal. That's all. That's how I would do it. But we're still at the same. It's the same question this season now because of injury, and we just don't know. Rob Keller, yes, offer sheet Barzal only. No need to trade anyone. Just straight up offer sheet and make it count. Again, if you're gonna offer sheet somebody, you better make it count. That's what I say. Make it count, and then you better be goddamn sure that that guy is worth every one of those 4 first-round draft picks that you gave up. Remember that, and all the bad blood you may have caused, because that could come back to haunt you down the road. So I say there's a lot to it, and I don't know enough about Barzal. Honestly, I really don't know enough about him to put him either side of that. He may be so much better than I might think he is, and he may be that he might not be. Like, I don't know. So I don't want to say anything. It's not a knock on Barzal. It doesn't matter who it is. You got to make goddamn sure that that guy's worth it. I really wish we still had Sergachev. That, in my opinion, wasn't the best trade. No, but I saw the point where, Sergachev hasn't been the end all be all over there in Tampa. Yeah, they're kind of grooming him along, but but you're right. I don't know. I don't think it was the best trade either. Fedge is in the room. Barzal for first, a second. Mete and Domi. Yeah, I think I saw that somewhere. I think that could be that. I don't know, that being a first and a second. I mean, that's a lot with Mete and Domi. I just think you got to throw in more than Barzal on the way back. And Fed says he can believe Price has told him that. I didn't say that. I say I doubt it, but I mean, I can believe anything. I can. Sorry, I can believe anything, but I want to know what the source is of that. I don't want to be talking about it and it's from a source that's just bullshit or not really reliable. No, if somebody reliable said that and it's out, like a Pierre Lebrun, that kind of guy. Yeah, I can believe that, and that I'm fine with it. But I just questioning where that was coming from. That's all. Okay, I'm not sure what that last said. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Fire Bergeron. Well, okay, but who's Bergeron? I think if you're gonna ask to fire somebody, you should get his name right. Edson. Okay, what is it you want me to do, Edson? I'm sorry. Your Uncle Benjamin Arola from Brazil. Send save? I don't understand. What do you mean by send save? You gotta kind of elaborate on that. I'm sorry, buddy. I wasn't sure what you meant by that in there. So that's ETZ in. I don't know. Fed Drouin is not worth much in a trade. That's a good point. Yeah, that's why we're kind of back to where we were last season, because I think you have to keep him. Unless somebody really wants him. If somebody's asking you for him in a trade and it's a fair trade and you like it, okay. But I don't, we kind of have to keep him because he's now kind of in like limbo almost, or in that no man's land where what do you do? He showed that much promise, yet the injury came back from it. Wasn't like, which one is he? You don't know. So I don't think you're going to get, like you say, I don't think his market value is great now. And I said it last year, why trading him last season might have been the time, because his market value was probably at its highest, and now it's not. Okay, Edson, I realize you're in Brazil. I just don't know what do you want me to do, but what do you mean by send save? Joe, big shot. Barzal fits perfectly with us. Having that number one center with KK playing second line is very good down the line. Well, first of all, Suzuki, if Barzal comes in, Suzuki would be the second center. KK has not earned that over Suzuki. You cannot say that. And I love KK. I love him. He has not earned it over Suzuki. Suzuki has earned that. And you still have Deneau, so you got to think about all that. Now, does that mean that KK can spend an extra year in Laval? That would be awesome for him, I think. So I don't think that's a problem that KK spends an extra year in Laval, and then we go from there. But when you're looking at it, Joe, and you're saying Barzal number one, and then KK, you're missing Suzuki. And KK's not ahead of Deneau right now either. I don't think. Fedge, Barzal is equal Aho, and he is fast. I've seen Barzal play. I know he's good. It's just it's a lot. You're giving up a lot. You got to make goddamn sure that whoever it is worth it. Now, if you're saying he's equal to Aho, and Montreal didn't want to give that to Aho to give up those 4 first-round picks, that might tell you the case right there that they don't think he's worth that. So it might not happen, right? I don't know. I think that might be why they didn't give Aho that bigger offer, was they didn't want to give up 4 first-round picks for him. There must have been a reason. I don't know if that was the reason or not. I'm just saying. Joe Foe, how's it going, buddy? Rob, I don't believe the Price ultimatum. Does not sound like Price. That doesn't sound like him, so I don't want to believe it. But I want to believe it only if it's from a real source, not from just some source. Even if it's eye on the prize, sorry, that's not good enough. Somebody really legitimate. I didn't know that you had to give up 4 first-rounders for an offer sheet. No, wait a second. It depends on what your offer is to the player, and there's numbers. So if you're giving a player $8.5 million or over, or something like that, or $10 million or over, you got to give up 4 first-round picks. The offer sheet they gave to Aho did not include 4 first-round picks. It was lower than that, and it was a lesser offer. So a lesser, what you gave up. That's not the right way to say it, but hey, got it across. Yeah, so a guy like Barzal, you're going to have to offer him $10 million maybe. You might have to. And then that's 4 first-rounders. 4 years in a row, you don't get a first-round pick. It goes to them. That, my friends, is a lot. And it's not, I'm not saying Barzal's not worth it, because that's not for, I don't know. I'm just saying that that's a lot. You better think about it a lot. Rob, I tend to agree with you. It seems too high for anybody who isn't McDavid. Pretty much. Wolverine, fire Julian, and maybe hire Peter Laviolette. Okay, but Laviolette's not French. If they're still under that French thing, Laviolette doesn't cover it. I don't think Julian's going to get fired. I mean, Bergevin's come out and say it. Does that mean he won't get fired? Have GMs not said this before and then turned around and fired the guy? So I don't know, but I doubt it'll be Laviolette. But I agree with the sentiment. And I'd just say it this way: if you are a person who wants Julian fired, fire Julian and bring in the best guy that's available. Doesn't matter what freaking language he speaks. Gislain is in the room, of course, near the end of the stream. 4-1 Habs, Nick Suzuki with the goal, first goal. Fedge, what is MB thinking, letting Caulfield decide if he is turning pro? MB said he isn't ready. Yeah, but are you better off forcing a guy to stay in college? I mean, it is college. It means he has to go to classes and all that. I don't think you can force a guy to do that. So what he's saying is this is what he'd prefer. If he does want to turn, if he does turn pro, Don't expect him in Montreal this year if he turns pro. Next season he won't, and that's probably the right decision. Is if he does want to turn pro, I'm of the mind he should probably play another year in the NCAA as well. But of course, only if he wants to. But then he should probably stay in Laval for the whole season. Maybe give him a game or two. You want to see what he's got. But that's it. You give him 2-3 games, and he spends the rest of the season in Laval. And yeah, he said that he would do that. So I don't think it's an ultimatum, and I don't think you need to give him an ultimatum or that you should give him one because you want to be forced to go to college if you don't really want to go to college. For Gislain's telling me, I think it was one first round, a second, and a third for Aho. Yeah, I believe it was something like that. Really look at Montreal's first rounders the last decade. Barzal is worth all of them, just like Aho is. I'm not going to disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why I think there's a difference here, Jeff. Well, Jeff Fedge. Fedge is just Jeff backwards. Uh, Until he told it to me, I didn't know it either. Okay, this is my reasoning here. It's not fair to do that. The Habs haven't started drafting well since till the last 2 years. 2 years, for the reason that Trevor Timmins has been given the reins to be in charge of that. Bergevin doesn't have a say in that as much, or if at all anymore. So the 8 years before that, to say that, no, you're right, and they didn't develop players either, that if they actually got lucky by whatever, that they picked a guy in, what do you call that? Oh, God, I can't remember. Diamond in the rough and nobody knew it. They weren't developed anyway. So I don't think that's fair in that way. And I think we have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they've turned things around. They're developing players. Let them draft good players and they'll develop them. That's why I say that. So their first rounders, especially if they're not going to make the playoffs or they're not doing great, are going to be better than some, you know what I mean? Some of the first rounders they did pick. But I think they'll do a lot better with them. So, that's the camp the side I'm on. I'm on that side of how I think. Rob says, I'm right. Barzal would mean giving up 4 first rounders unless he really loves Montreal smoked meat and takes a discount. Well, listen, I don't know about the discount, but apparently Montreal would be definitely a good fit for him. I would imagine the story is probably somewhat true, if not true, about his mother wanting him to learn French so that because she wanted him to play for the Montreal Canadiens one day. So I'm not saying no. I'm just saying it is a big commitment that you got to be sure of. And listen, I like Barzal. I think Barzal would be great here. So I'm not saying it's a bad move, but it is what it is. Because remember, what happens if in 3 years, it's one of those drafts like Alexis Lafreniere? Well, we got no first round pick. So even if we got no first round pick. And I would think those are not lottery protected picks, right? That you give up. So, anyway, that's how I'm thinking. If I'm wrong, someone just let me know and let me know how I'm wrong. I don't mind. I would rather be corrected than be wrong. Is the Habs giving up right now and maybe tank, or do they still believe they can fight for a playoff spot? No, I think their playoff hopes are done. I don't think they're tanking, but I think it's time that a guy like Lindgren gets a few games. Maybe we're wrong about him. If he can give us a save percentage of over 900, it doesn't have to be high. A 903, 904, that's pretty good for a backup. If he could do that in the next however many games they give him, you got to say that's a plus for him. And when you're paying Price, and I guess if you do the Barzal trade and you traded Price for Barzal, it doesn't come into factor here. But if you're paying your goalie $10.5 million, I don't see how you can really justify going out and spending $4 or $5 million on a backup goalie. I can see justifying have two $4 or $5 million goalies that split duties, but I don't see how you can have a $10.5 million goalie and a $4 or $5 or $6 million backup. I don't see how you can do that. So the backup has to come cheap, hence the backups we've had. So if you want to go back and say he shouldn't have signed him to a $10.5 million contract, maybe that was when it was time to say, sorry, Carey, we can't. And because also, and I love Carey Price, but how many Stanley Cup winning teams have had the best goalie? The winner, and they had the best goalie as well. I'm sure it's happened a few times, but in general, it's not the best goalie. It's a really good goalie. So you need a good goalie that gets hot in the playoffs. It's all you really need to win a Stanley Cup, plus the other pieces up front. So, it's tough. It's tough when you got that guy being the guy earning the most money. And it's not to take anything away from him. I love him, but I don't know if there's a deal out there for him. But I guess if you had to, you got to deal him, but you need to get somebody else back for him. You can't go with the goalies we have right now. You got to get a goalie back somewhere in that deal. A starting goalie, too. Okay, where was I? I disagree. We don't know what we have the last 2 years, to be honest. No, of course we don't know. But, Fedge, come on. You don't know. Every draft pick is a roll of the dice. Even number one picks are rolls of the dice to some extent, unless it's a guy like McDavid. I mean, Jack Hughes turned out to be like everybody else. He needs time to develop. So I'm sorry, but for me, I say this, when you've got pieces on your team that you can move forward with that are good, that you just need to build around, like they did in my day, and maybe it's because I'm an old guy, I don't see trading these guys away to get more rolls of the dice, because those guys are not guaranteed. No way. First round picks are not guaranteed. They have a higher percentage, but they're not guaranteed. So, sorry. That's how I feel. Look, your opinion is 100% valid. I'm not trying to, say you're wrong. I'm just giving you my opinion. Wolverine is saying, honestly, I think it's likely that Barzal is committed to the Islanders, but maybe Montreal can try. I would think so too. I mean, unless it's something we don't know about or haven't heard about, I don't see why he'd want to not go back there unless they do something there. They're not going in the direction he wants to go. I have heard it said that Barry Trotz keeps a bit of a leash on him offensively, and he'd like to break out more. That could be a reason. I don't know if it's true, but I mean, that's a valid reason why a guy would want to leave. Fed's saying we don't have a chance at the top two picks this year, really. No, but I think that if they can get a guy like Drysdale, I think that's a good thing. If you can get in the top five, I think you're getting a good player. I think if you can get, as long as you can develop your picks, you can find good picks all through the draft. And you can't argue that's not true. It is true. Does it mean it's true this year? Not necessarily. But in every single year, there's been good, solid hockey players all the way up to some elite hockey players. Not often, but it happens. All through the draft. So, it is what it is. They couldn't let Carey walk over 2 or 3 million. The city would have gone crazy. Maybe so. You don't think the city is going to go crazy if they trade him now? I don't think it'd change. The city's going to go crazy no matter who you trade. It's kind of, any of the big names, you trade them, the city's going to go crazy. That's the way it is in Montreal. But if they would have done it then before the big contract, so by now we should have recovered from that and been on the new track. And, I just don't know. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. Believe me, I was kind of on I was on the wall. At first, it was that you can't trade Carey Price, and then I was like, oh, you know what? It kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense instead of signing him to this huge contract. So, I would have been okay with it, but Habs fans are not known to be rational. Just to let you know, a few minutes left because we're almost at 7 o'clock. I never even looked up to see that. Okay, we got into 10 um, um viewers without like having any pre-advertising this thing. So it's a little different doing it this way. The next stream that I do though will be um, on directly on YouTube. Um, First of all, I'm not. I want to see what else I can do with this. I'm not using it to its full extent, but I'm going to kind of go back and forth. This one, like I said, videos don't get monetized on YouTube. Also, I don't know. There's no. I don't know how the super chats work here. I know you can do super chats. You can, and this one I'll be able to when I have T-shirts. When it's bigger and stuff, you can do all that through here. They collect it separately. It's a totally separate thing from YouTube, and yeah, I don't know. So it's weird. I don't know what I'm doing over here. It feels very foreign. I'm used to the window from YouTube. But yeah, so we're in our last few minutes. Hey, Nolan, you made it in just in time. VGK coverage. Oh my God. It's Lou. Lou came to see me. Hey, Lou, how's it going, buddy? Thanks. I'm almost done, but good to see you here. Thanks. Thanks. At least you guys are going to have some playoffs. Um, I don't think we're allowed to talk about that thing that's going on down there, the big event that's going on worldwide. I kind of been led to believe we can't really name that. I hope things are good for you down there that way. Stay home a lot. Stay away from big groups of people, and I hope your nights do well. I hope your nights do well, buddy. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I haven't seen you in a while, and granted, I haven't gone into any of your live streams. I know, so don't worry. I'm not upset, but I really glad to see you. And Nolan, you made it in just in time as well. Yeah, I'm still on here, man. I'm still on here. I'm still doing stuff. I actually got monetized too, so I'm like now I'm important now. I'm monetized, but yeah, I got my monetization. So, but it's slow pickup, and yeah, I'm not as big a channel as you. I'm not as. By the way, everybody, you might not be a Knights fan or anything, but if you want to go see videos that are high tempo, funny as hell, go watch VGK coverage because yeah, it might not be a subject that she's a Habs subject, but guy is funny as hell and he does really good. I love his energy and he's mad. He's crazy, the guy. And he's a good guy. So go check him out. He doesn't need the subscription. I mean, he's trying to get to 10,000, I would imagine. So yeah, go over there and subscribe and get him as close to 10,000 as we can right now. 10,000 is a really good number to get to. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Fedge. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. Enjoy the game. Totally agree about draft picks. You don't know what you are truly getting unless it's Connors. That's it. I mean, you don't really. You really don't. Hey, John. Hot take. All right. What is it? I'm getting the big guys in the room tonight. All right. How's it going, buddy? Appreciate it. I'm almost done. I'm doing my first Streamlabs OBS live stream, so it's a little different tonight. Just trying to get a handle on it. Yeah, VGK is a beauty, man. He's a beauty, eh? Take off, eh? That guy's a beauty, eh? Yeah, Louis is a great guy. I figured you guys know each other from here. I would have been surprised you don't know who each other are. Does he trash Patch Ready? I'm so in. He might. I don't think so, though. I doubt it. Patch is going to maybe hit 40 goals. I would imagine Louis likes Patch. Oh, did I miss anything? Louis, none of us are important. I always tell all my people, I'm just one of those guys like them that just put the camera on and started to do things. But god damn, you're entertaining. But listen, I hope your inactivity isn't for something bad. I hope things are good for you. I really do. But it's true. I haven't seen the. I like you're on. I get notified when you put out a video. I haven't seen a lot of that, so that is true. So I hope things are good though, buddy. I really do. So I see that Fedge asked about Pacioretty. What do you think? You must be happy with Patch. Yeah, John, that's what I would think. He's been really good this year, so it's evening up the trade a bit. But when you consider the two guys that we got and what they're doing for our team, yeah, I know we didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, I'm talking about still they're the best things out there on our team right now, pretty much. So I thought it's a good trade for both teams. Neither team can really say they lost right now on that trade. Yeah, I know. I'm tired. Okay, listen, it's 7 o'clock, so I got to get going so I can catch the game. Um, big. What's MAF? Okay, wait. What's MAF, Fedge? Big. I'm trying to think of it. It's not mother effort. No. Wait a second. No, really. What's MAF? That I got to know before I go. Okay, while I'm waiting for the answer to that, I want to thank everybody for watching my first OBS live stream. The thing is, doing this, I can't see the first period at all. I have to watch it on the computer, and I can't figure out how to do that and keep this going. So that's why I was back to the pregame show tonight, because I can't do both. So yeah, I want to. Marc-Andre Fleury. I should have known that. Marc-Andre Fleury. Hey, what a freaking tandem you guys got out there, man. Oh, I sound really Canadian now. Fleury and Lehner, I think that's got to be a really good tandem, 1-2. Ryan T, if you're asking me what team I'm rooting for, I'm rooting for the Habs all the way. Always Habs, always will be. And just on that note, Habs game's coming up. I got to take off. Want to thank everybody who was in here. It's up to 15. I don't want to stop. It's up to 15. Oh my God, what am I doing? But I can't see the game at all streaming like this right now. So I don't really have a choice. So I think I have to go. So okay, so thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. Don't really want to go, but I don't really have a choice because I do want to see the game, and yeah, I can't do both. So next game is what day are we today? Tuesday. So next game is Thursday. I will be I'll be doing this off of I want to say Facebook. I don't know why Facebook. I'm going to be doing this off of YouTube Direct, so it'll be notified. You'll see the post out there before, and yeah. So thanks. How many times did I say thanks everybody for watching? I shouldn't say it again. I said it enough. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy the game. I'll be doing a review right after the game. Hopefully you'll check that out, and hopefully you get the result you want. Bye, everybody.